Wow. Okay. I think this is the first Instagram live I've ever done, ever. So we've got some highs going up on YouTube. This is going to be trippy because I got a phone here, computer here, camera one, and then also camera two over there. So this is going to be kind of fun trying to make everything happen. But welcome. Where is everybody coming from? Hit me up where you're joining from. That'd be kind of fun. Sometimes we get some like international people, and that's always great. But today we're going to be talking about 75 hard. Yeah, I'm on day 19, so we're going to kind of discuss like what the first 2 weeks looked like as far as results, everything that I've kind of gone through, struggles, diet, workout, everything. Okay, from Saudi Arabia, that's rad. Let's see. Can I scroll? I can scroll. Great. So I'm scrolling on Instagram here. Man, we got some good people here. Seattle, Boston. Right on. All right. So yeah, 75 hard. If you've got a question, let me come into my chat. There's the chat. If you got a question, post it up here. And Instagram, if you've got a question. This is kind of hard. Like, I've never done an Instagram live, so I'm also hitting like these things on the screen and trying to also communicate to the people here on the YouTube live. It'd be so much easier if we could just get you all into one place, but that's okay. All right. So let's talk about 75 hard. First of all, if you've never done with perfect, John says, what is 75 hard? John, that's a great question. That's why we're here. Let's go over Ali. Thanks for joining, man. My friend, yes, this is his name. Muhammad Ali is on this stream. Good dude. What is 75 hard? 75 hard is a 75-day challenge, and I will show you the rules. There are 5 basic rules. You can't see them because you're on Instagram. But the first one says consume 1 standard gallon of water only. Literally don't add anything else. Rule number 2 is perform 2 daily workouts, minimum of 45 minutes apiece. They have to be spaced no less than 3 hours apart. And one of those workouts has to be outdoors no matter the weather. The third rule is a self-developmental reading. So active reading, 10 pages, take notes. Fourth rule, follow a diet, any diet. Print it out, hang it up, do not deviate, not even once. And the last one is daily progress pictures. So that is what the 75 hard challenge is. Kagi asks, well, I'll get to that here in just a second. So that is kind of what the 75 hard challenge is. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys right now, trying to keep track of graphics. It says, when are we starting? I've already started. You're more than welcome to join me. That was KSebot72. I don't know. Let's see. There's a questions. Let's see. I tap to answer question. Oh, okay. I'll get to that here in a sec. Thanks for that question, though. That's great. So I've already started. Like I said, I'm on day 19, and I'm going to show you like a typical workout. So I'm assuming most of those questions are going to come from like, what do your workouts look like? What kind of diet are you doing? Like, how are you maintaining this? All right. So let me throw up a sample workout. Again, if you're on YouTube, it's a lot more interactive. You can actually see all of the stuff that I've put together. But this is a very simple workout, and basically, I guess I should give you some background as to why I started the 75 hard challenge. Um, my mental health was just tanking, and a buddy of mine, Trip, reached out and he was like, "Dude, you need to do something really physically hard." And that's all gravy, but for me, the last 2 years of my life have been almost like a wash, a complete physical wash. I've had 5, maybe 6 concussions. I got a nasty form of mono that here we are 18 months later and I still have symptoms, which for the first year like completely crushed me being able to do anything hard. I would get onto a stationary bike, I'd pedal for 2 minutes and I'd be completely gassed. So, and then I tore my lat. Like there was just a bunch of shit over the last 2 years where when he told me that I needed to do something crazy hard, I was like, there's no way. I can't do anything like that. And then a few days after that, I decided to revisit those thoughts. Like, why was I so like, ugh? Why did I fear doing something hard like so quickly? And it dawned on me that I am afraid of hard things. Didn't used to be that way. That was definitely not the case. But somehow over the last 2 years, that has happened. And so I decided, hey, now's the time to do one of those hard things. And Trip recommended the 75 hard challenge. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'll pull the trigger on that. I've had a few other friends do it. And so I kind of dove in. And for me, I knew there's with this program, they kind of leave diet and workouts up to you. It's very subjective. You can kind of like pick and choose your poison. So I knew that if I just went into the gym, I wasn't going to make any progress unless I had like a written workout. Like if I just winged it, I wouldn't work hard enough. I needed something to like be accountable to. So I decided to go back to my workouts that I used to do as a volleyball player. So these were very, very hard workouts. This first phase, actually, let me pull this up again for you. This first phase is very much about like building anatomical adaptations and strength. So increasing connective tissue strength so that when I start lifting heavier to progress me to doing stuff that's more powerful and speedy, my connective tissues are nice and strong because they don't heal, they don't grow and improve at the same rates that muscle tissue does, mostly because they don't get the blood flow. So it's really important that this first phase, I'm doing lots and lots of volume, not heavy weight, but tons of volume to kind of prep not only my muscles, but my connective tissue. From there, I will go more into like strength and power, and then from there, power into speed, because I'm also going to compete at world champs. And I haven't done that in 3 years. So I'm just going to pile on all the challenge. But that is kind of like an insight into the workouts. So here you can see, I just took a sample one. This was 3 supersets, bicep chest, bicep chest. It's very like like bodybuilder. This first one, reverse grip pull-ups. There's just a lot of tempo on this one, so not a ton of reps, but the reps maybe have a tremendous amount of eccentric focus. So like 10 seconds in the eccentric phase, that's really going to hammer on your connective tissues. So stuff like that. If you have questions about this workout, I know Instagram, I'm sorry, you can't see it. But if you have questions about this workout, post them and I will answer them. But essentially, yeah, so I've got one of these a day. Maybe I'll do jujitsu. Maybe I will throw on a bag with like 35 pounds of camera gear and I will just walk for an hour. So basically going rucking. One of the things that's kind of difficult about this program is that they very much leave it up to you. And so I did a video just barely on like how to make the 75 hard challenge better, and that is establishing your standards before you ever start. Because if you get to a point where you've got some wiggle room, some gray area, you're going to probably take the easy way out. That's just human nature. So for me, I set standards on not only my workouts, but also my diet. So maybe we should talk about diet. Well, Kagi does ask a question, so let's throw that up. I saw a couple questions, so I'm going to do one off YouTube and then I'll shoot to Instagram and I'll do one there. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Let me wave. I've never done this, everybody, this Instagram uh live thing, so I'm waving like a lunatic. It's that crazy person across the street that's like, "Oh shit, does that person know me?" I'm just waving like crazy at everybody here. All right. Okay. Kagi asks, when did you start in this field? 20 years ago. So I started training 20 years ago. Long, long damn time. Okay, I saw another question. Frank's Tactical. How's your mental health been treating you? I've dealt with mental health issues since I was like a little kid. So it's kind of always there. Um, and thankfully, over the last like 3 or 4 years, most of the things that would trigger some of my pretty dark, depressive episodes, I've been able to work through, and things have been a lot better. But I think turning 40 was a rough one because I'm 40 and I do YouTube. And it's not like I have a big YouTube channel. I don't have a big Instagram following. So it's like I'm putting in all of this effort to make videos for a very teeny tiny group of people, and only a small percentage of that group of people actually get to watch those videos or do watch them. And so you're like, dude, what am I doing with my life? So that was really starting to wreak havoc on my brain. And thankfully, I came to my senses and realized, like, listen, you're a pretty privileged person. The fact that you've got mostly good health, and you don't have a boss that yells at you, you don't have a schedule to stick to. I can kind of come and go as I please. I could work from anywhere in the world, and all I do is shoot videos. Like, things are getting better. And then doing this program has actually helped me out a ton. So, one of the many benefits of doing this is that my mental health is way better than it was just a few weeks ago. I've dropped 8 pounds. Most of that's going to be water weight, but I've definitely lost some fat. I'm noticeably leaner, but that's been rad. And I'm training harder now than I was. Sorry, I hit the mic. Hopefully it didn't get all crazy. But I'm training harder now than I was, just a few weeks ago, a few months ago, a year ago. And yet, because of all of the changes that I've made to the diet, my recovery scores have been pretty much just green. I've had one yellow score since starting, and that's nuts for me. It's normally like 3 yellows, a red, and maybe a green, or 2 reds and a green. And it's just been green. Even with the same amount of sleep, working out harder, just taking out some of maybe those like inflammasomes, and eating even a little earlier in the day. Like, I typically go to bed around 9 or 9:30, and now I'm going to bed same time, but eating at like 5:30 instead of 7. And it's just, yeah, I feel great. I feel like I have a ton of energy, which is rad. Dude, so many people have joined, popped in and out, and that's okay. Oh my God, so many waves to wave. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you have questions, let me know. Like, I've never used the Instagram Live, so it's a little bit different on YouTube. It's a little easier. Thanks, everybody on YouTube, for joining. Yeah, there we go. So 75 hard. But now here are some things that I'm not doing on the 75 hard. So if you were like a crackdown, stick up your butt 75 harder, you would probably be like, dude, you're not even doing one. And that's fine. No, I'm not drinking a gallon of water that's just water. This is a very arbitrary rule. Like there's literally no science that backs drinking water. Maybe the opposite, drinking a gallon of water every day for some people could have negative side effects on their kidneys. Drinking just water and nothing else could actually deplete you of some electrolytes that actually keep you hydrated. So it's the one rule that I'm just like, I'm going to do what I need to do that makes me feel better. Some days that's a gallon, but I'm always putting element in there. Also, recently I got diagnosed with POTS because of all the concussions and the COVID, and I have to increase my sodium intake to like 5,000 milligrams a day as per doctor's orders. So I'm dumping lots of electrolytes into my gallon of water. Let's see. I think I saw a question here. John, hopefully that answered your question as to what 75 hard was, though. Frank, some solid talk. Much appreciated for answering my question. Yeah, no. I appreciate it. Frank's tactical. Thanks for the question. Trust me, questions make these things so much better. So if you've got one, ask. Don't be embarrassed. Nobody knows anybody on this thing, right? Like, who the hell cares? And trust me, it just makes these live streams so much more fun when everybody gets involved and starts cracking jokes and asking questions. Karen says, I can't live without Element. It is good. What's your favorite flavor? Mine is mango chili. John says, yes. Thanks, Brandon. You're welcome, John. Like I said, questions are the best. All right, so let me get. I know I wanted to talk about the rules a little bit more because there were some things that I'm just like, this is kind of dumb. Let's see. All right, so consume 1 standard gallon of water. I'm not doing that. So if you want to say like you're not doing a 75 hard, yeah, I don't care. Whatever. God damn. The chat bot from the help on Restream, it's like the service I use to live. Like it just keeps popping up and asking me questions. And I'm in the middle of a live stream. That's ridiculous. Perform 2 daily workouts. Like I said, there's nothing prescribed for you as a workout. So they really leave it up to you as to like what you're going to do. So if you want to make this successful before you ever start, I would absolutely write down what constitutes a workout. Now, everybody here on Instagram is following me because of my wife, not because of me. Everybody on YouTube, it's a very different story, is following me because of me and not my wife. And my wife says walking is exercising, and I totally agree. However, it doesn't say exercising, it says workout. I think workout and just exercising can be 2 different things. For me, I would never use just a regular walk as a workout, especially in this context. However, like I said, if I put on a heavy ass backpack and ruck around for miles, that's definitely going to be a workout. So you really need to like lay down what the standard of what a workout is for you. Okay? Because it might be walking, but maybe it's like, hey, that's not good enough. A workout is simply getting to the gym and lifting a bunch of weights for an hour, or maybe it's doing calisthenics or whatnot. Leanne says, do you still coach Mobile 90? Nope, I went full-time YouTube, I want to say in February, and I haven't done a Mobile 90 in a long time. Before that, I was just doing private groups. Brian Fiasco, I call you Fiasco, even though it's Francisco, because Fiasco is a cool word. Anyway, what's up, Bri? Brian's a good dude. Thanks for joining, buddy. We're talking about the 75 hard. If you've got a question, Brian, on like what it is or like why you should do it, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it would be hard for me to be like, yeah, you totally should do it because I don't know what like place you're in. But for me, doing really well. It's I'm having a lot of fun cooking way more. I'm cooking a lot more, like 2 to 3 meals a day. I'm cooking, just buying a shload of groceries, lots of groceries, and cooking every day, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not a great cook, or maybe my wife and my kid would have me cook for them, but that's okay. And I get to experiment around with some of the stuff that me and my wife see on the like cooking shows we watch. I know that's kind of weird, but that's what we do. John says I have to Google Mobile 90 now. John, I'll give you kind of the breakdown. Mobile 90 was a program I created a couple of years ago that basically gave you a personalized movement analysis and helped you eliminate like movement dysfunction leading to injury and such. And it was a program that helped a tremendous amount of people. Like I said, in February, I decided to finally leave the fitness space, like the personal training space, and just focus on YouTube and reaching people through video rather than like actually devoting all the time to somebody face to face. Sometimes you just get burnt out of stuff, and that's okay. Brian, Brian Fiasco, the Francisco says definitely would love to hear more about it. He's referencing 75 hard. What is it? So a lot of people are dropping in at different times, and that's totally cool. So 75 hard is a 75 hard day challenge with 5 rules. The rules being you have to drink a gallon of water a day. We've kind of discussed how that's an arbitrary rule, and I don't follow that one. You have to do 2 workouts a day. Both workouts have to be at least 45 minutes in length, no less than 3 hours apart from one another. And at least one of the workouts has to be outdoors. You have to follow a diet. You can't cheat on that diet ever. You have to read 10 pages of like not self-help. Would you call it self-help? Something like that. Like right now, I'm reading the Jocko Willink book, but it's not that great, to be honest. I'm going to probably skip over to Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. That seems to be a lot more practical. And then what's the last one? The last one is Progress Pictures. And I'm not going to take progress pictures. I don't really care. So if that like demotes me from the 75 hard club, well, good riddance. I don't care. Let's see. So Brian, hopefully that helps. Let's see. Ryan says, just dropped in. Keep up the good work, homie. Hope you keep experiencing continued success. Ryan, thank you so much. That's incredibly nice of you. Things are going good. YouTube is a weird job. A lot of people think it's really easy. It's actually not at all. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done. This video I'm doing right now for the one wheel, you can't see it on Instagram, but the one wheel, I'm doing a big review. I'm basically shooting a movie. I'm turning it into a movie, and I think I'm in month number 2 of filming this thing, and it's going to probably take me another month, and I'm going to have to hire an editor and a sound designer. Kind of bonkers, but it's fun. Holy crap! Let's see. Joe says, "Hey Brandon, I've recently gotten a Whoop. It's kind of what I'm known for on here. Got a Whoop after watching a review. Just wondered, what's the best tips you have to get the best out of it?" Well, wear it consistently. Like that's the biggest thing because the Whoop actually gets better the longer you wear it. I've had some friends return it within the first week because they're like, it's not accurate. And what they don't realize is it takes 30 days for it to calibrate to you and to give you the best results. So honestly, just like don't take it off. Make sure that's the coolest thing about Whoop is that like the battery puck just slides over the top of it. So you never have to take it off. You can just wear it all the time. And if it were me, like you can get a little too obsessed with your wearable and you rely on that information like too much. So that's not great. Use the Whoop for like 3 or 6 months. Use the journal. Use the hell out of the journal because the journal is what's going to help you pick trends in your behavior that are either having positive or negative results. You can like actually see the correlation between I went to bed too late or I ate too late and how it affects your sleep and then how that poor sleep affects your recovery. Use the journal and use it as a self experiment for like 3 or 6 months. And then you can ditch it if you need to. If not, you can just wear it like I do. And I've had it for almost 3 years. And I still find some of the information giving, it gives me very insightful. Now I really only pay attention to the information though if I'm trying to go through like a new phase of training or like the 75 hard. Like seeing it have real world um, effect on my sleep and my recovery has been awesome. But I don't let it kind of like rule my brain anymore. Hopefully that makes sense, buddy. Let's see. John says, yeah, got me a Whoop 2. I don't wear it though on casual Fridays when wearing short sleeves. You can get the boxers if you want and then put it in your boxer and problem solved. Unless you sit a lot and then it's not going to be very accurate. More people to wave to. This is kind of cool. Thanks. We've got 3 friends on here. That's okay. I don't really care. Just get involved. People on Instagram, I got to be honest, you guys are I've only had like 2 questions on here. Frank being one of them. Good work, Frank. All right, Brian says, thanks for the explanation. Going to look into it a bit more as well. Trying to make health, fitness a top priority right now. I've been pushing it aside for a while and it's starting to affect me now. I think this happens to a lot of us creators. You guys in the video space for sure. You know, because this has been such a big part of my life, it's not something that really is ever pushed on the back burner to the point to where I've like really gone through hell or put on a ton of weight or something like that. I mean, even over the last 2 years, I mean, pretty much working out twice a day, once a day, something like that. But yeah, it's you can't perform at your best and do all the stuff you need to do at your job if your health blows. The cool thing is there are very little teeny tiny things that you can do every day that dramatically improve your health. Just going for a walk like first thing in the morning. There was a big paper that was just published on like the first 3 hours of wake up, if you can spend at least 20 minutes in the sunlight, it has like a pretty dramatic effect on your own testosterone, estrogen, melatonin, basically your hormonal production, serotonin, sorry, not melatonin, serotonin, and a bunch of other things. Like it cleans up your GI. Like who would have thought sunlight could dramatically improve your GI? So great questions. Oh, sorry, I meant to hide that. John says I have the 3.0. Nice. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you for everybody that has joined on Instagram. I don't know if this is I mean, I guess it's working. Like I said, it's the first time I've done one. Let's talk about diet. What am I eating on 75 hard? We kind of went over the workouts, workout programming. If you have a question on like programming, let me know. What am I eating on the 75 hard? Well, it was for me, it was not about what I wasn't eating. It was what I was eating that needed to be taken out that has had huge dramatic effect on me. And that was I made in that video, sorry, my brain is all over the place. I have really bad ADD. But basically, in the last video, I talked about 3 ways to make the 75 hard challenge better. And because they don't, give you a workout, you really have to establish the rules around what a workout constitutes to you. Well, same thing for diet. They just say pick a diet and then stick to it. So you could do paleo, you could do keto, you could do, Mediterranean, whole 30, whatever you want to do, you've just got to stick to it. The problem is like there's a lot of information out there and you're like, man, what do I do? For me, the thing that probably the best thing I did was just say, hey, this is what I am not eating. Anything else I should be okay with. No chocolate, no ice cream, no donuts, no burgers, no fries, chips. We'll talk about fries and chips here in a second, and no pizza. Those 5 things, pizza, burgers, donuts, ice cream, chocolate, just have a hold on me. Just like they have me. And if I started eating some of those things, then it just kind of cascaded. And over the last few years, I've slowly let those things become a more normal part of my life. So that was the thing that I said, "Hey, listen, I eat a pretty paleo way anyway, but sometimes I'll have gluten, like in a form of bread. If I want to have a sandwich, I'm okay with that because the gluten really doesn't affect me that much. And that's it. So as long as I stay away from those five things, I'm good. Now, the other part of that is, are there foods that have wiggle room? Like potatoes and chips both come from potatoes. Potatoes are great, but but chips and fries, I think, are you sliding down a slippery slope, right? So it's like, well, pizza's just this, it's got meat on it, and cheese isn't bad for you. So I needed to make sure that I got rid of foods that could potentially lead to like bigger slip ups. So that's why I ditched those five foods. And just ditching those has made a massive difference on my energy levels throughout the day, how well I'm recovering, how quickly I'm falling asleep, how soundly I'm sleeping. I still only sleep like 5 hours a night. Like my brain, as you could probably tell from this live stream, is just a million miles an hour going, and it's constantly waking me up. Like, hey, dude, hey, 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 get up, get up, get up, get up, go work on that video. So I don't get a lot of sleep, but I'm still in the green. I wish I could show you, but basically, since starting, I've only had when I say when I refer to green, I'm talking about the whoop. But since starting, I've only had one day in the yellow. That's it, and my average strain is higher. The workouts are harder. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of volume, the muscle soreness, everything like that. Normally, I'd be in the tank, but just changing this up on the diet has made huge, huge difference. John says, not all the features, but saw things that the 4.0 had issues. I've had no issues with my 4.0. I've seen it from other people. I've seen like battery issues, and they kind of fix those with the firmware update that you actually do to the battery. But yeah, I've my 4.0 has basically not even been there, and that's the best. When something is just not even in view until you want it to be in view, and that's how my 4.0 has been. My wife's has been the same way. Yeah, I don't know. And Whoop is pretty good about like customer service. When they used to have the chat bot, I don't know why they got rid of that, and I'm actually kind of mad about that. But when they had the chat bot, it was super easy to get your questions answered and very quickly. We got a question. Speaking of questions, Frank says, besides the Whoop band, are you using any fitness watches like the Garmin? Well, I have an Apple Watch, but no on the Garmin, no on Suunto. And the reason being is like Garmin and Suunto are really kind of focused towards a certain type of athlete. Usually they fall into the outdoor triathlete paradigm, and I'm not one of those. They make an absolute killer product, and I totally recommend Garmin. Their body battery is really cool. They do some really awesome stuff. It's just not for me. Like everything that I do with like jujitsu or swimming or like the normal type of workouts that I do, hiking, I would love to have altitude, but at the same time, like I have all trails. Like I'm just, oh yeah, that's how high I climbed on this hike. For me, it doesn't make sense. But like I said, they make awesome stuff. Like their Sapphire, their Phoenix 7, I think they're on now, looks badass. And I would totally take one if they wanted to send me one and review it. I totally would, but I kind of don't fit their wheelhouse. That's a great question though. Mostly I just like wear a regular like G-Shock watch. And even though I have this, like I said, the more I use it, the less I have to rely on the information unless I'm doing something very different. So right now I'm doing the 75 hard. It's a very different stage of training that I'm going through. So some of this information that's coming off here, I deem more important. Boom. What was I gonna? Oh, I was gonna share something the other day and maybe get your guys' opinion on this. I would love to do a video on this because I don't think people know about it. But so almost 3 years ago, I got my first concussion. 10 days after that, I got another concussion, and that was the big one. That was the one that kind of like wrecked me. And then it seemed like every 3 months I would get another one for like a year. Basically, uh, my train of thought is like gone now. And then having COVID and a weird heart condition called Marfan's, I was like the poster child for the planets aligning around a condition called POTS, or postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's not life threatening, but if you've had COVID or a concussion, the chances of you having POTS are much higher. And even though it's not life threatening, it can have some pretty debilitating side effects. Here's a weird one. This is like the most like pronounced in me. If I'm laying down and I stand up, my heart rate will jump crazy high and I'll almost faint. So doing lots of up and down stuff is really hard for me. And originally I thought, hey, it's just because I'm weak and I'm out of shape. But that wasn't the case. So like I would do jujitsu and maybe we would do like burpees or something. And I was like, dude, why am I so out of shape? Like I'm not. Why is this affecting me so much? And basically your parasympathetic system and your sympathetic system are going a little haywire. And I guess like for a concussion, this makes sense. But for some reason, like COVID is triggering this in people. But I went and got diagnosed. They made me do this weird test where I just laid down for a while and then they had me lean up against a wall, just like on my shoulders and not do anything. And they're like, if your heart rate jumps more than 30 BPM, you fall into the like, you have this. And mine went up like 55 BPM. It jumped. My resting heart rate was 54 and it went all the way up to 108. And at one point it was like 122. And I'm just standing, like I'm not doing anything. But my hands swelled up, my feet swelled up. It can make you really dizzy. It can give you like really bad headaches. Yeah, so I've got like a part of that protocol is drinking water, like drinking more fluid, but I have to keep more fluid in me. So I have to dramatically raise my sodium intake, hit the waves. I'm waving. Lots of waving here. I think I got them all. We're caught up on the waves. Hi. As for Instagram, YouTube, you guys rock. Keep it up. If you have questions about POTS, let me know. But basically, I have to wear compression pants now, like all throughout the day, which is kind of crazy. So I got to get a good pair of like 2XU compression pants. But a lot of people don't know about POTS, and it is kind of crazy. I thought maybe we could do a video on it. It kind of sucked. I really wanted to film some of the testing that they were doing, but because it was a hospital, they're like, no, you can't do that. Stupid YouTuber. So if you would like to see a video on POTS, because maybe you have it because you got COVID, I got it twice. This is something that's becoming more prevalent. So if you've had concussions or COVID, you could possibly have POTS. Like I said, it's not life-threatening, but some of the symptoms can be pretty sucky. You get lightheaded, you can faint, out of breath. When I go to bed, if I don't prop my head up really high, I'll get like panic attacks because my heart rate starts going crazy. Like I have like tachycardia from it. Just kind of weird. Anyway, that I just went to the doctor on, was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. And they did the testing and they were like, yeah, you have POTS. And so I'll figure out I don't know where I'm going with this. I'll get more information. I have to do another test. They make you do these weird exercises called zombies. Like you have to put your hands out in front of you like this and point your hands down, look to the side, and then march in place. And if your arms start raising or lowering, that's bad. They're called primitive reflexes. These are like things you develop in the womb. And when you get a concussion, these connections are broken essentially. And so there are a lot of weird exercises that I have to do to reform those connections. It's pretty interesting. Griffin says, tell me about the 75 challenge. For those of you just joining, I will. Somebody's calling me, and I'm not going to take it. Get out of here. That was weird. Screen went all black. I think my connection's going out. Yeah, it's freezing. Oh, okay. No, we're good. Let me hurry and wave to these people. All right, Griffin, let's talk about the 75 Hard Challenge. It's a 75-day challenge that has 5 rules. And if you break any of these rules, you have to start over. I've already discussed that I have broken rules. I don't really care because they're arbitrary and I'm not starting over because, well, there's only one rule, and that's drinking a gallon of water a day with nothing in it. That's an arbitrary rule. I don't really care. But basically, you have to drink a gallon of water every day. You can't put anything in that water. It's just plain water. That's the one I'm not following, kind of following. The second one is 2 workouts a day. They have to be 45 minutes each, spaced no less than 3 hours apart. And the second one has to be outside. You get to decide what constitutes a workout for you, which is nice. 3, follow a diet. Don't deviate. No cheating ever. Okay. Again, you get to pick what's your diet and just stick to it. The fourth one, you read 10 pages of like a self-help book every day. I chose Jocko Willink's Discipline is Freedom. I like Jocko, but this book is very it's motivational, but it's kind of like motivational fluff. There's really not much actionable content in the book, which is kind of a bummer. The workouts are great, but you get like after like 40 pages of him just being like, just do the thing. You're like, okay, whatever. So I'm going to reread Michael Easter's Comfort Crisis, which is a freaking awesome book. Michael Easter is one hell of an author. And then the last challenge is you take progress pics. And I have taken them. I'm just not taking them every day. So I'm self-conscious, even with myself. So that is the 75 Hard Challenge. It's been awesome so far. I'm on day 19. It's hard, obviously. Like working out every single day, twice a day is hard. My second workout generally consists of, or I should say my outdoor workout generally consists of me and Henry sprinting around, running, going on a hike, something like that. Like I'm not, or I do sprints up at Olympus High School because I love sprinting, and that's a hell of an effective workout. And that's the only place I like. That's really the only outdoor workout I'll do. But I'm also going to start volleyball again. So that's the 75 Hard Challenge. I wasn't doing this to lose weight. I was really doing this to just do hard things and let my brain know that, like, hey, you can do hard things and you don't have to be scared of challenges anymore. Because I've been that way for the last couple of years, I guess. Didn't realize it. Yeah, but I have lost, I want to say it was, I think 8 pounds when I last checked. I started at 212 and then I'm down to 204. So 8 pounds. I'd say half of that is water weight, but I'm noticeably leaner. Quite a few people have been like, wow, you look like you're losing weight, blah, 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 blah. So it's working. I feel a whole lot better. Griffin follows up with, how has your strain and your recovery been affected during the 75? Strain is higher, recovery is higher. Since starting, I've only had 1 day in the yellow. An average week for me would be like 3 yellows, 2 reds, and a green. And right now, it's basically in 19 days, it's been all green and 1 yellow. So I'm pumped. I feel great. My brain feels great. I feel I can keep going. You just have to be cognizant of, like today, oh my gosh, I'm so burnt out. I'm going to go do jujitsu, but I'm also just going to like grab my camera and I'm going to go one wheel for like an hour and a half. And you might think that's not a workout until you do it. Holy smokes, it fries your legs. It's absolutely a workout, especially when you put on like 30 pounds of camera gear. I kind of like this wave thing. Whoa, Tyler Richards. Oh, sorry, Tyler Richard Wells. I'm bad with names, Tyler, but Tyler's a stand-up guy. Did you get it, Tyler? Because he's also a stand-up comedian. That was a bad dad joke. Oh my gosh. The world's biggest troll is on here. David Manning better get good on that one wheel. David, all I have to do is go, hey, let's go ride on that dirt trail, and then you're screwed. David challenged me to like a, how do I put it? Basically, he just has been trolling me about how rollerblades are far superior to one wheel. And I don't really care. It's not like I'm a devout one wheelian. This is my first one. Rollerblades are hella cool. I used to do it all the time. People that rollerblade also say hella, I bet. Anyway, used to rollerblade. I love rollerblading, but you can't go on dirt with them. That thing goes up mountains and it's badass. It's a lot of fun. It's like the perfect coffee grocery go getter. Let's see. Pretty sure I just need to ask you to film left. What does that mean? Like you're rescinding? He asked me to film a video for him, and I don't know if he's rescinding that invitation or if he just wants me to shoot to my left. Come on, David. It's all that coffee. Who here likes coffee? I posted a video of me grabbing coffee for my wife, and I was like, this stuff blows. I don't know if I've ever gotten so many replies to it. Instagram story. So many people are like, you don't like coffee? Like, it sucks. Shoot to your left. David, I know you're like, bro, speed up here, but I don't get what you mean by shoot to my left. Why would I need to shoot to my left? Like, I can't shoot to my right. David's actually a really good guy. Really, really good guy. Some of you have asked, like, I had a shirt that says, I think, be a good human. God, now I feel bad. Anyway, it's David's company. He sells that. He makes those himself and he sells them. Can I put up Dave, what's your link? Post your link and I'll type it in for people so they can order your shirt. It's awesome. Wallbank says the one wheel is fun, but I have ate it a few times. Have you? Yeah, for sure. So I think it was like my fourth day of trying to ride the one wheel. Let's hit these waves. Wave, 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 wave. What's up, everybody on Instagram? Thanks for joining. One wheel. Maybe I'll just show you what it is real quick. It's a giant one wheel. So I'm doing a big video on this. It should be fun. But essentially, when you turn this on, it levels. And then as you put force going forward, it goes forward or it goes backwards. If you put more force on your heel or your toe, it turns that way. Well, it doesn't like balance you completely. It can get pretty squirrely. They are lots of fun. This one goes really fast. This is the new GT. This is kind of like their flagship model. But like on the fourth day, I decided to like fly a drone behind me. I was like, this will look cool. I'll fly a drone. Wow, that's a lot of dirt. I'll fly a drone behind me and get like this really cool low tracking shot. And instead, I flew it into my leg at full speed. And that sent me flying, and I totally scraped up my calf. And I've fallen a couple of times. Yesterday, while getting coffee, I zipped up to the line to the window, and then I fell off in front of like 30 cars. Looked like an idiot. But hey. And then some 75-year-old dude, I was riding past, and he had one of those old people stares where he's just like, what is that guy doing? He's like, aren't you a little old to be riding that? No, you dork. Get out of here. So, yeah. That was quite the tangent, wasn't it? That's what I... Hey, what's up, Mateusz? Mateusz is the kid that beat me up when he was 14. I think my first or my second jiu-jitsu class, they had me spar with a 14-year-old kid, and I was like, why am I doing this? Why is there why would they have me roll with a 14-year-old kid that weighs 60 pounds less than me? And then he beat the ever living hell out of me. I think he tapped me like 6 times in 5 minutes. Nothing's changed. He still just beats the ever living shit out of me. But now he's a full grown man. And it's imagine getting put into a large washing machine with cinder blocks and turning it on high. That's what a session with him feels like. You're just there's foot and hand and then your arms being taken. Anyway, that's good stuff. I think David build. I'm gonna have to talk to him later. Thanks for the questions. How long have we been going? What are we at here? 50 minutes? Good God. I've sucked 50 minutes out of your life. Hopefully it was worth it. Okay, so we're at 50 minutes. Generally, these things I only let you go. I only do for an hour because that just seems like a long time. I don't know if I had like a whole bunch of people joining me, then sometimes they go a little bit longer. My record I think is 2 hours, but I had guests. Thanks, CS Seashell Run too. Thanks for joining. You're just the person I saw join. If you have questions, send them out. Let's get this out. I'm gonna put this on here. Got a question? Please ask. Boom. So if you got questions for me, Instagram live. We were talking about 75 hard. If you want to ask a question about 75 hard, you can. I talked about POTS or postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's this weird thing that I got diagnosed with on Wednesday, but a lot of people have it. My wife has it. People that have concussions and or COVID have had COVID. This is something that's popping up more and more. It's not life threatening, but it's the symptoms can be very sucky. If you've got questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. Workouts, whatever. If you want to ask me why I switched from personal training to YouTube, I can answer that. But let's shoot for another minute or two here. If we don't get questions, and then I'll let you go on with your weekend and actually do something productive. So listen to me, Imran. Meanwhile, I can't change. What color should we go with? Dark blue? No. Let's go like purple. Boom. How cool is that? A remote and it changes all those lights. How'd you guys like the multi-camera camera? I actually have it on a slider and I had it moving back and forth. But the tripod that holds the whole thing is a little rickety and I was worried about the whole thing toppling over. David Serger. When will we get some personal training videos? David, JC, you're behind. Dude, there's a lot of them. I have like 350 videos on YouTube. If you go back more than like 2 years, this is a great question. David says, sorry, I'm driving. When will we get to see some personal training videos? I don't particularly enjoy making them anymore, mostly because there's so many up on YouTube. Some great, some not so great. But I just don't get to like be very creative sharing a personal training video. Now, that being said, I've been on YouTube for like 12 years, and for the first 10, that's all I shared. So if you go back, I want to say maybe 80 videos, you're going to see workouts galore covering all sorts of cool shiz. David says, but you've gotten so much better at filming now. Yes, that's true, but I don't know if it would make a personal training video any better. It's just one of those, you know it, David. It's one of those things that's not that enjoyable for me to like film. That's all. Personal training is great. I'm just glad I can move. Actually, this is a very timely question. Mateos asks, why did you switch from personal training to YouTube? Okay, so I started when I was 20 doing personal training. So one, sometimes people just get bored, and they move on. And I was about to turn 40. I'm like, I just kind of got burnt out of doing personal training. One, I didn't have a gym anymore. And Thankfully, I kind of moved from personal training to online training right before COVID. Like that was just lucky, uh, because personal trainers really took a heavy hit from COVID. Um, Lots of gyms shut down, etc. So I'd kind of moved out of a gym that I had access to. I went to online only, and it was fun, but half of the fun of personal training is the actual interaction. That was what I was good at. I was okay at the personal training, but I was really good at connecting with people and figuring out what they needed and how to deliver that to them. And when you're online, you don't really get that same connection. I would do phone calls and I would do a bunch of other stuff, but just didn't get that same connection. And then I started doing big groups, and the big groups were also a lot of fun. But I've always had a really hard time if somebody's not successful under my guidance, that I take it really personally, even though now after having done it for so long, like I can't force feed that person. I can't force them to do the workouts. So when they wouldn't do as well as I had hoped, like I took that really personally. I wasn't mad at them. I was just like, why can't people just do the thing? And I think that just kind of got me burnt out. And over the last 2 years, trying to be more creative and work on just like purely creative things. Like I've been working on a graphic novel for 4 years now. Like those things just become more and more important to me. S- uh, Part of the depression, like a guy asked earlier about like my mental health, part of that is that I get a story in my head, an idea of something I want to share with people visually, and if I can't get it out, it really like messes with my brain. And so I was having all of these ideas, but I was training. I didn't have enough time to like get these ideas out and share them, and it was really like messing with me. So I went, you know what? I will take the pay cut to do the thing that my heart is telling me I need to do. And it's weird because I'm 40 doing YouTube for almost nobody, and you go, what am I doing with my life? Like, am I like a complete loser? But at the end of the day, it's what I really want to do. And nobody tells me what to do, which is great. So that was the incredibly long-winded version of why did I stop personal training. So you're going to have to be really cool for me to work with you, because at this point, like having as much family time as I possibly want, doing whatever I want, kind of whenever I want, is pretty amazing. Who would I train? Who would get me off the couch and start training again? Charles Barkley. That would be funny. He would be a good one. Nothing would happen, but the conversations would be glorious. Keanu Reeves. Oh my gosh, if I could work with John Wick, that would be dope. Let's see. Wallbank. YouTube algorithm needs to get better at recommending your channel. Enjoy your content. Thanks. The algorithm is what it is. For Instagram, it's a total flaming garbage pile of poo. It's just, it's gone nowhere because it's trying to be TikTok. That's why. But on YouTube, it really comes down to like make a really damn good video. That's why I've spent so long on this one wheel videos, because it's going to be very different than anything I've ever done. I'm pouring a ton of time into it, and like I've rewritten the script like 5 times. I've done reshoots up the wazoo. It honestly feels like I'm making a movie. But if you do a really good job on the video and people really love it, and they click on the video because you've made like a cool thumbnail and title, algorithm will take care of the rest. It would be dope to have 100,000 followers. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that I had like 342 years ago, and now we're up to 24,000, like I'm cool with that. I'm doing good. Let's see. Oh, lots of waves here. Let me get these waves going. Hey, Gavin. Gavin is a loyal follower of the YouTube channel. Thanks for joining, buddy. So many people. I really wish I could do better at shouting everybody out, but the phone's so far away from me. Loki, the most famous dog in the world, has joined, and I just waved at him. I waved at a dog. Henry and Loki got to like get together, and I've got a cute little video of them sitting side by side. Loki the wolf dog. Obviously, it's not the dog, or he's also the most advanced dog in the world, not just the most famous one. Let's see. All right, we are at an hour. If I will field one more question. The first question that comes up, whether it's YouTube or Instagram, I will field one more question and then I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining, though. Let's put that out there right now. The Kate Simon. Is it Simon or is it Simon? Thanks for joining. Who do we got? Who's going to ask me a question? David's probably just going to ask me some dumbass troll question. Get out of here, David. Let's see. Oh, are these, you got like a bunch of effects? Oh, you can share photos? Well, now at the end of this Instagram live, I just realized I could have shared with you the stuff that I said I couldn't share with you. I'm sorry about that. My bad. There's a microphone. You guys can hear me, can't you? I'm pretty sure you can. I could flip the camera around. Don't know why I'd want to do that. Okay. Censors, no questions. I will let everybody peace out. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Yeah, the next video that's coming out will either be the POTS video or it might be another month until I get this one wheel video done. But once it comes out, I'm going to do a premiere. That's where I stay on the video and answer questions. Because this is a big one. It really is the biggest undertaking I've ever done on a video. I'm hoping I'm not hyping it up too much, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's been very frustrating and enjoyable. And I hope you watch it when it comes out. I will catch you later. Peace. I don't know if I